Welcome to the Cincinnati Art Museum's Cam Look. Each Tuesday and Thursday, a staff member or volunteer will share an object from the permanent collection and post questions for discussion. Check back every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. for new work and new conversation. Hi, I'm Helen, a docent at the Art Museum. When Cam has a special exhibition, that means it's time for the docents to study the artworks and learn information to share with our guests. Good stories about artists, the artwork, and cultures are always popular. Let me tell you about one of my favorite stories of an artwork and the 800-year journey from its birth to display in the special exhibition Rediscovered Treasures, on view at CAM September 19th, 2025 to January 18th, 2026. Bowl with shell attachment is a small ceramic bowl, just 6.5 inches in diameter. It's a delicate gray color that seems to have a touch of green in the glaze. Here are two views of the bowl. Yes, those are real shells on the outside and inside of the bowl. They were not originally on it, though. The bowl started on its journey not as a fancy artwork, but as a simple item made for the dinner table, to use for rice, soup, or maybe vegetables, but it landed at the bottom of the sea before making its way to CAM. A potter created the bowl in Thailand in the 13th century at the Sawankhalok kilns. The kilns were partially underground, as we can see in this photo of an excavated kiln. Hundreds of the finished bowls were packed in barrels, then taken down the local rivers to a city on the Gulf of Thailand. There, a merchant bought them and loaded the barrels onto his ship that already had goods from other countries. Research showed that there was a trade route between China and the West as long as 4,000 years ago. Today, we know it as the Silk Road. Our merchant was a trader on the Silk Road. The Silk Road was actually many roads, several overland routes, the red and gray lines on the map, and the sea routes, the blue lines. The sea route started on the east coast of China. Ships sailed from seaport to seaport, trading goods in countries we now know as Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Myanmar, India, Iran, and on to Egypt. So how did the shells get on the bowl on the bottom of the sea? Unfortunately, the ship sank off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, probably in a storm. Over the years, the wooden ship fell apart, the barrels fell apart, and the bowls landed on the seafloor. Deep in the Java Sea for hundreds of years, the CAM bowl was the home for sea creatures that attached their shells all around the bowl and thrived there. Birds? Yes, birds are next on this journey. Fishermen learned to follow birds to find fish. And where were they going? To shipwrecks. The floor of the Java Sea is miles and miles of flat sand. Shipwrecks provided safe places for many fish to live and reproduce. Fish attracted birds, and the birds led fishermen to the good fishing grounds above the wrecks. Over time, the fishermen realized that those shipwrecks below also had treasures that they could sell. They dove down and recovered coins, jewelry, vases, and bowls that they sold to antique dealers. It was good money for the fishermen who have a difficult life. There are hundreds of shipwrecks along this section of the Silk Road sea route. Over the years, antique dealers bought many objects from the fishermen. CAM's bowl came from an unknown wreck, probably recovered before the Indonesian government began official expeditions to find, study, and record shipwrecks. Dr. Sung, curator of East Asian art, received this bowl as a gift from an antique dealer when she purchased the Tang Dynasty Changsha bowl from the Belitung shipwreck. Now it's beautifully displayed in Rediscovered Treasures. Can you see why this small, delicate bowl is one of my favorites in this special exhibition? It traveled from the hands of a potter in Thailand to a merchant ship, survived a shipwreck, and became home to beautiful sea creatures before helping fishermen earn much-needed money 800 years later. Do you want to learn more amazing stories about East Asian artworks? Please visit the special exhibition Rediscovered Treasures at CAM. Thanks for joining us on Cam Look today.